Hello again, everyone. How's it going today? Happy Wednesday. We are back for some more Minas Tirith action. Let's go ahead and open this bag. We are on bag number 7 of the first box. How's it going, everyone? Yeah, $775 could be a car payment for a rather expensive car. I would not pay $770. Like, if I was going to get a car and that was going to be the car payment, I'd be like, okay, I'm getting a different car. That is too rich for my blood. I could see making a choice on paying it off faster by paying that much if you wanted, kind of thing. But if the car the default car payment itself is that much, I'm like, All right, so we are working on the wall here as I try to figure out what the best position for all of this is. All right, we got a couple ball joint sockets. One there, one there. So how is everyone doing today? Surviving dodging rainstorms during dog walks? Yeah, we were expecting a pretty bad one yesterday. Turned out to be not too bad, but good 2 inches of rain in a lot of areas. I don't think around where I am, though. After building Minas Tirith, Ald will build Zak Zaroth. I would enjoy a Lego set of that. Sadly, it has not really been visually captured. Yeah, there were flood warnings here, too. I mean, some places got 2 inches of rain. That's, not a small amount. You had a black bear running around your downtown area over the weekend? Aw, adorable. I mean, I can understand how people might be a little bit afraid of that. We tend to just have raccoons, and none so charismatic as Jimothy. Alright, let's see. 1x2x2 brick there. We get a side stud. Bracket. You love Jimothy. And a Nadarogi Eye on a 50-stream streak. Nice. Thank you. Getting those bonus hams. Wet dog wants to snuggle in your bed? I mean, I see nothing wrong with that. Howdy, Farron. How's it going? I mean, you could try to send wet dogs to my bed, but it ain't happening. Besides, I don't think a wet dog would really enjoy getting on a pile of Lego. All right, so we got another. We have an inverted slope with cutout here. Making cracks in the wall. I feel like these would have been patched. You know? Can you send wet dragons instead? I mean, wet dragons don't really have that same wet dog smell. I mean, if you want something similar that's not a dog, you can go with a kobold. Because, you know, they're not reptilians. They smell like wet dog. In part because they have dog-like faces. Alright, get a D side stud. Where are you? There you are. And a trans light blue candle flame element. But kobolds aren't reptilian. Because they're goblinoids. Always have been. Alright, so we got some cracks in that wall. I really feel like they should probably do something about that. It's really not a good idea. One by 3, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, and an not an inverted half arch, a regular half arch. There we go. Alright, brick, 1 by 3, get a 1 by 4, another brick, and 1 by 3. Guess based off the material, Ligonium dragons would be on the metallic end of the spectrum. No, plastic dragons are a completely separate group. And there's only 2. Green and black. I mean, the only one that they're making of that kind of size and shape right now is the Hulk. So I'm not terribly surprised that it does not come with one of those. All right, 4, 5, and 6, and 2 1 by 2 plates. What about the one from the D&D set? I mean, that's brick built, so it doesn't count. All right, turn it around. And we get 1 by 1 tiles. Let's see. Okay, 3 spaces there, and then 2 spaces. 1 by 1 tiles with top clips. Right there. And there. You know, it also depends on the artist, but you think gold dragons are supposed to be Chinese noodle dragons? So 2E solved that by saying that they favor a wingless form sometimes. I think it changes their swim speed, but I'm not positive. I'd have to go look at it again. I think it also changes their fly speed. I don't think they fly quite as fast. Alright, half tile and 2 inverted gray tiles. Why swim when you can fly? Because there's stuff underwater. You know? Things you can eat, places you can live, stuff like that. There are indeed space dragons. There are indeed space dragons. There is the Radiant Dragon. That is the most common. There's the incredibly enormous Stellar Dragon. And let me tell you, Radiant Dragons are themselves rather large as well. And then there are Sun and Moon Dragons that live, respectively, on suns and moons. The Company of the Broken Sword has run into 2 Radiant Dragons. Fun was had by all both times. No, there is not. There is something called a time dragon, but it's more of a, I think it's a Bahir relative. It just lives on the demi-plane of time. It's not a true dragon. Dungeons and Dragons, the original Pokemon? There are a lot of them, not all of them are interesting, let's say. There are more than a few that I go, why did anyone even do this? Have they run into Bahamut? No, I'm not playing a Planescape campaign. Also, I don't typically have them run into deities. Howdy, Iagra, how's it going? They're psionic. Yes, gem dragons are psionic. To varying degrees. Some are more powerful than others. I mean, if you think early D&D has a lot of dragons, you should see later D&D. Kinda goes off the rails. Mercury dragons are wonderful, sir. They are weird in wonderful ways, sir. You better be speaking positively of them, sir. They're time dimensionals rather than elementals, because the demiplane of time is a demiplane. What about Mercury elementals? Pretty sure those would just be mineral elemental para-elementals with no, quasi-elementals. Mineral quasi-elementals with just a lot of mercury in them. And they wouldn't be liquid. What about Venus dragons, and Jupiter dragons, and Mars dragons, and Moon dragons? This isn't Sailor Moon. I got that, not a rogue AI. I understood what you were going for. Are there bacon elementals that can cast grease every time they attack? No. Now we need dragons who transform into pretty dragons in sailor uniforms? Are you saying that all dragons are not innately pretty? Oh my god, Iagra. Can't believe it. Prettier, my bad. There we go. Besides, dragons get made uniforms. It's true. That is a thing. Alright, so 6 of these. Now, most dragons do not. Like, of the original 10, only 3 did. A few have spell access capable of casting it, but it's not innate. But even then, I don't even think that red dragons get that. Pretty sure you can find dragon sailor scouts if you Google hard enough. That's probably true, actually. Ald is very pretty, a very pretty dragon. Gold, silver, and who else? Bronze. Why do silver dragons keep falling in love with humans and Kryn? It's only like 2. Let's see. The other ones that can natively polymorph: deep dragons, iron dragons, radiant dragons, adamantine dragons. 2 of the eastern dragons, and I cannot remember which 2. I think there's a couple of the neutral dragons that can as well, but I don't remember. Can any natively shapeshift? There isn't a big difference between those two concepts when you're talking about spell-like abilities. But amethyst dragons can shapeshift as druids to animal forms of reptile, bird, or mammal. So I guess you could have a half amethyst badger. Oh yeah, steel dragons, thank you. I did forget them. And Greyhawk dragons, but they're a subspecies of steel. Or the same thing on a different world. Interestingly enough, the monstrous manual steel dragon is the Greyhawk dragon statistics, but the steel dragon name from the Draconomicon. You think Mercury dragons would be rather malleable physically? So Gilded Tongue, they are, in that they can cause light to reflect off their bodies. If I remember correctly. I believe they can flash you. Alright, so we have a little potted plant here with an orange flower. It goes right here. And then a tall plant. Using different flower types. Let's see, 3 of these. So that's 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1x1 cylinder plate with top peg, and that fits into the hollow stud in the planter. Alright, that goes right there. Kind of cactus-like. At least that's what it reminds me of. Okay, that's it. So, spare parts. 2 1x2 gray half-cylinder tiles. White 1x1 plate. 1x1 plate flowers in red, orange, and green. Gray 1x1 cylinder plate with a bar. Brown 1x1 cylinder tile with a top peg. Small 3-leaf flower stem. And candle flame pieces in trans orange and trans light blue. Those are our extra pieces. And on to bag number 8. Speaking of D&D dragons in the Lord of the Rings set, you're sure there's many stat blocks for Smog? Not in D&D. I mean, unless you're considering, like, all of the individual stats people might have made for him, because none of them would be legal to publish. And I haven't really looked at Middle-earth role-playing MERP, to see what they do stat-wise for things. I have mostly just looked at the artwork because Angus McBride did a lot of them, and he also did a heck of a lot of Osprey books. So, good artist, and just this pretty great coincidence that he also liked to do fantasy stuff. Sadly, I don't think he did anything for D&D. Right, there's a spear. Okay, so we've got a Gondor soldier. I think we're going to get like 4 of these guys. So, great shield. That would be a great elf shield, I think. In fact, the armor would make great elf armor, too. Same thing with the helmets. I think Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro has been working with Tolkien's estate because they are releasing the Hobbit set for Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I mean, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to allow D&D. I don't know. But maybe. Who knows? That'd be very weird. I like D&D being its own thing, though. I mean, even if it is heavily influenced. But also, isn't there a Stardew Valley Magic set coming out, like, next week or something? Howdy, Sealan, how's it going? Yeah, Stardew Valley Magic the Gathering set. You can have the power of Junimos in the deck of your hand. Or whatever. Oh, so that's not, like, not playable or something? I don't know what any of this means. I just saw Stardew and Magic the Gathering. I mean, I probably saw Secret Lair, but I don't know what that means. Thought you were going to say Stardew Valley tabletop RPG, and all you could think of is, oh god, that's the epitome of one more round. It's kind of weird to see, like, you're not a Magic the Gathering player, but your understanding is it had its own world and lore, and now it's basically screw it, make everything into a card. Yeah, just like very licensed sets. It definitely feels weird as a former Magic the Gathering player to see like Transformers cards. Oh, so it's normal cards, but it just has like art and flavor text to tie in with something. Okay. Just reminds you of the cup of noodles ad in FF15. Nope, no corner rail pieces. But, I mean, they're rails. They kind of need to be straight. They use them for a lot of different things these days, but they're still rails. Although, I don't think the original use is, parts are still produced. You just ignore the secret layer stuff? That's fair enough. Even the Stardew Valley one? Okay. 2L bars with stops here. It's just a way for them to make more money. I mean, they are a business, to be fair. It's just a cesspool of scalpers? That's unfortunate. Okay, so, done with that little tower structure. I think that's primarily for view from outside the walls. You want corner rails to finish an aesthetic properly by having a rail all the way around? Well, but see, this might be going for more of a rounded look as opposed to a rectangular look. Because there are pieces they do use. It's not quite the same thing, but you can get like use the jumper plates, and it'll come out to like right there or something like that. There is a gap. Not a Ginungan gap, but you have stuff like that. You have people who buy up as much as they can to raise prices so they can sell at that price. Yeah. Like, if someone is keeping their cards for 15 years before selling them, or even 5 years, I don't have a problem with that, especially if they also play with them. But if someone is like wanting to buy the things and then immediately turn it around and make a profit, I do have a problem with that. And I think that the companies should like come out 6 months later or a year later with, oh, by the way, we're producing more of that. And just do it at random with random sets. Just to kind of make that point that, you can't really trust that we won't do that. But not so long that it would affect the long-term price too much. What if you didn't play with them and just collected them? I mean, that's fine. If you just like them for the artwork and stuff like that, and then after a while you want to sell them. Even if it's just, like, I don't think it's healthy, but even if you're buying them as an investment, you're not flipping them, but you're investing in them. I mean, but they should definitely make it impossible for people to buy up a current set to drive up the market price. Now, that would very likely affect future values because you would have just more of the cards, but screw you. It's a card game. Like, it's kind of my view there. Alright, let's see. Yeah, this is going down to the bottom. Oops. God damn. Huh. I'm not very sympathetic towards people who invest in non-investment vehicles. You know what? I just realized it's supposed to be a 1x2 down to the bottom of each of these, because there are studs down there. There were so many pre-orders. I mean, if that's just people being excited about that, then that's great. And they should definitely there should definitely be an element of, as long as you're buying it for a certain amount of time, then we will keep producing it. That's kind of how Lego operates with a lot of their sets nowadays. Way back when I was a child, basically everything was almost everything was available for 3 years. There were a few things that were set for a little bit longer. There were a few things set for a little bit less time. But nowadays there are some things that they don't, like, they're not artificially trying to create scarcity, but some of the themes have very high turnover, like town, or city, I guess it's called, I should say. Lego City has a very high turnover these days. So some of those sets can be available for only like 6 months. But there's also, like, those are also not the sets that people are scalping and stuff like that. Like, that's not things that people are looking to invest in. They want to invest in the icons and ideas sets that would be around a lot, would be of much greater interest to adult fans long term. Like right now, if you were someone who was really into Wicked and you didn't know Lego made a Wicked set, and now you're like, well, now I want that, it's out of production. That is the kind of thing that would have some potential value on, as a resale thing. As opposed to city sets. But a lot of those are around for at least 2 years. And if they're selling really well, like one of the modular city sets that I built, it was actually a pretty old set when I got it and built it. It had just been selling so well that they kept it in production for 5 years, whereas the normal was like 3 years for those. Okay, so this slides right in there. And that's the kind of thing that like Magic the Gathering, I think Wizards of the Coast should do with these sets. If the Final Fantasy set is still selling, keep making it. So here we have the tower. It is a little wobbly. I think that we'll get something probably to lock it in. Maybe. Oops, that popped out of there. There we go. All right. 1x1 plates. Yeah, but I mean, they're buying up the packs to find those rares, right? They're not like, otherwise they'd have to be buying them and then immediately buying them individually from people and then immediately reselling them, which seems very unlikely. So if they keep making the sets, then it makes it that much harder it makes it that much easier to get those rare ones. You hate the idea of cards you can only get if you buy a whole box of boosters? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. But there is an element of, like, you know, most of those are good cards. Not all of them. Some of them are garbage. But, you know, part of it is that they don't want literally every deck to have such and such card kind of thing. So we got a brazier there. And hanging from here, we will have a lantern. There we go. Get a lantern hanging there. All right, another brick. 1x2 brick with clip. 2 half arches. I'm just glad I'm not, like, even back then, back when I was playing Magic, I only wanted the rare cards that were useful to me. If it wasn't useful to me, then I didn't care that much. Unless it had nice art. You know, I liked the art too. All right. Let's see. All right, peak slope there. 2x2 peak slope. And a peak slope end. They should make art books for old sets that they don't print anymore. That's true. Actually, that would be like a 1 page per art, and the whole art, you know, the whole set of card art. That would be very nice. Although they might not have rights to do that for some of that art. I don't know how that all works. I know that TSR did all the magazines in PDF form, and they got sued by the people who did a lot of the comics because they didn't have permission to, like re-release those in digital format kind of thing. So they had to recall it. So it is not the easiest thing to get. Yeah, when I was going through my cards, I was actually surprised I had some with Tony DiTerlizzi art. I was very, very pleasantly surprised by that. I thought I had gotten out of Magic the Gathering before that crossover happened. That was one of the nice things about the merger. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of positive to say about the buyout, other than it kept it in the hands of, at least at the time, people who liked gaming. But getting, like, Elmore and DiTerlizzi Magic cards was pretty neat, even though I didn't get those. And you also got some of the Magic the Gathering artists doing artwork for, like, Dragon Magazine and stuff. Some of the really lovely Dragon Magazine covers by Rebecca Guay were fantastic. So, like, they might for staff artists, but I don't know about freelancers. That's the thing, because I know that, I mean, maybe Tony DiTerlizzi has gotten permission to republish his art, but he has republished some of that art in like, art books and playing mats and stuff like that, so... Tony DiTerlizzi. One of the really big 90s D&D artists. Did most of the initial Planescape artwork. Right, it would depend on the contracts. It would depend on the individual artists. Alright, so there we go. This goes right there. Yeah, Braum did a lot of great art for AD&D as well, yeah. A lot of the cover art for Dark Sun, for example. He did some Spelljammer stuff. Some really great Spelljammer stuff. Oh. No wonder I was popping this off so much. It's supposed to be anchored, and I missed that. There we go. Alright, spare parts. We got a straight black robot arm with alternating clips. White 1x1 tile. White 1x1 tile with round end. White 2L bar with stop. And a trans-orange feather flame piece. You have an art book from Elmore with, you think some of his old D&D art? Yeah. I don't have anything from Elmore. I do have some Clyde Caldwell art books with a lot of his D&D artwork. Before he started drawing just the same woman over and over again. I say this as, like, just a mild criticism, as opposed to a major criticism. But it was just funny how, like, I think around 97, he started, like, with one model and just every single woman he drew after that was her. You were surprised he did covers for a few Beckme modules? I'm not at all surprised at that. I mean, oops. I mean, like, that stuff needs color art, and he was one of their best color artists on staff. It does, like, I do always find it interesting how certain artists kind of, like, you know, set an artistic tone for certain lines, like, you know, Elmore with Dragonlance, Braum with Dark Sun. Easily doing all of the hardback AD&D book covers kind of thing. You'd only seen Braum and Dark Sun covers. His M series covers were out of left field. Yeah, I mean that's really. Oh, you mean you were surprised? Braum did covers for a few Beckme modules. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I don't know if I know those offhand. I will have to go look at them. I don't know Beckme as well as AD&D. But like Terry Dykstra did a lot of the black and white interior art for Beckme stuff. So he kind of set the tone for that. You haven't really looked at the artists for Magic the Gathering cards you love? You should go looking at names. Yeah. Definitely. I do that with, like, anytime I really like artwork. I'm always trying to figure out who they are and stuff like that. One of my favorite TSR artists, who we lost much too early, Keith Parkinson. Always did fantastic artwork. Alright, let's see. I need a tan macaroni. Yep. And now a beige 3x3 macaroni. There it is. Like, when I realized that Braum did some artwork for, like, some of the pretty cool Spelljammer art is Braum, I was like, oh, hey, that's awesome. Doug Schuler did so many early Magic the Gathering cards. There was a joke that he couldn't draw feet because the view selected for cards usually cut off that part. Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely one of their staff artists at the time, that's for sure. Oops. This needs to flip around. Yeah, I don't remember all of the Magic the Gathering card artists that I like, other than Phil Foglio. Like, those were always fun. Caldwell did the art for a lot of Spelljammer, you think? I don't think so. I don't think he did much, if any, for Spelljammer. Maybe it was novel covers? Not for Spelljammer. Easily did one of them. Maybe he did the first one. I'd have to go back and look who did the first one. So annoying, suddenly your foot is all pins and needles? Have you been sitting on it? Got into collecting Magic the Gathering cards much later than most Magic the Gathering people. Well, I mean, I don't know about most. Like, there's people getting into Magic the Gathering every day. Even I wasn't into Magic the Gathering at the ground floor. I didn't get into it until revised. That's when it really hit big. And then I was out by Weatherlight. 3 years and so much money spent. Pity their wallets. Anyone starting today with Magic the Gathering? Well, I mean, like, you could start with, like, Magic the Gathering Online. Excuses, Bahamut, excuses. You loved Keith Parkinson's Shannara covers? Yeah. I have purchased a lot of fantasy books by the covers. And you know what? I have not often been steered wrong. You started just before the dark stopped around 1999? Wasn't that before that? Because Weatherlight was 99, wasn't it? Not excuse if true. Yes, it is. Excuses. Let's see. I bought the. I think I got into the Devery books because of the Keith Parkinson covers, for example. You didn't get much of Mirage or Weatherlight? Too busy collecting Rift books? I feel like I just heard that there was someone wanted to make a movie based on that. Maybe it wasn't recent. I don't know. Magic the Gathering cards are at least scalped less than Pokemon cards. I find that almost hard to believe, but I suppose Pokemon probably is bigger than Magic the Gathering these days. Alright. Let's see. 2x2 corner tile. Seeing grown people fighting over the new Pokemon sets, probably to scalp later. Poor kids who want to play. Pokemon's a gateway drug. Because I think I was only into Magic the Gathering for about 3 years. And I didn't even play much past 97. Maybe it was a little bit more. I feel like it was 95 when I got into it. And I think it was around 97 to 99 that I got fully out of it. I'd have to go back and look at the things. I did have a very slight resurgence of like, oh, they're changing up the rules. Let me see what's up with this, and then buying a few things. I think I played like one game against someone who was just getting into the game for the first time, and then that was it. It could be drugs, he mutters as he spends his paycheck on books. That was me at various times with Lego, D&D books, and anime. There was a time when I was buying just about, not quite, but just about every anime that was coming out in the US. You were mostly just your older brother's deck testing partner? Says the furry, so really, not really much of an insult. Now, that's a completely different thing. In some ways, it's healthier. Alright, dark gray, 1x1 brick here. Like, you're much more likely to have this kind of interaction online. Oh god, that person has an anime avatar. Rather than, oh god, that person has a furry avatar. You know? It's a big difference. Oh no, they have a furry anime avatar? Well, that just means they're into porn. No, Susan, that one has a Lego avatar. No, those people are fine. Yes, healthier like spending $200 on obsolete furry TTRPG books because, damn it, I've started collecting them, I might as well get them all. Well, yes, but the community also supports a heck of a lot of artists out there. That is definitely something to be proud of. Okay, so spare parts. We got a tan 1x1/4 cylinder tile and a gray 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg. Howdy, little bunny. How's it going? Kind of wish there was a translation of the Feta remake for Sega Saturn. There's one for the SNES, but you found a line that aged poorly. So something that you think that the translator, like a fan translation, I assume you mean? Something that you think the fan translators put in? Because I know, like, I was watching Mysterious JG and Zerfall play one of the Monster Shell, Super Monster Shell story play the fan translation, and let's just say I think that the translators were inspired by working designs in all the worst ways. At the time, that particular word may not have been offensive, but less so these days. Ah, okay. But still, a fan translation rather than an official translation? Oh, I can, little bunny. You don't even have to go that far back. It kind of reminds me of, I was listening to a podcast about movies, and they were talking about Night of the Comet, which is a great cult science fiction film from the early 80s. And they pointed out, and it's, I mean, like, when I listened to the podcast, I hadn't seen the movie in a very long time, but they were talking about one character and basically wondering if they were gay, except they used a common slur at the time, but they weren't using it as an attack. It was just kind of matter-of-factly. And for a film from, like, 82 or 83, it's kind of surprising. Like, you just change the slur to gay, and it would, you know, you could say it today without problem, kind of thing. Because the sentiment was perfectly normal. It was not an attack. This instance in Feta was the same feeling. Got it, yeah. Daddy would have got us Uzis, yes. It really is a good movie. It's a lot of fun. Now you wonder what is wrong with working designs? Their translations took a lot of liberties to make topical comments that are no longer topical because they're, you know, like commenting on pop culture from that time that is not pop culture today. Like, not even all of it is bad, just, you know, takes you out of the game by making a reference to, like, Clinton, the Clinton sex scandal or something like that. Very, very dated. I mean, some of it is bad. You know, don't get me wrong. Some of it is bad. But a lot of it was just changed for the sake of putting in a then topical joke that falls flat today. You know, and they justified it by, like, having side characters, mainly, you know, like people in town say these things when their original comment didn't really mean any, like, it wasn't necessary for the story or anything like that. It was just, you know, like, you walk into a town in an RPG and someone says, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" kind of thing. Then they would change it to a topical joke or something like that. It's just very unnecessary. I would much rather have that non-joke original comment translated for me kind of thing. Also, the guy who worked there took credit for other people's work, too. He claimed to have worked on the translation himself, and he didn't. I have that from first-hand, not first, I guess second-hand. I have heard it from someone whose work he took credit for. I forget his name. I mean, I know the guy, the person I'm talking about's name. I don't remember the working design staff member. Who's the guy in charge of it? Victor Ireland, I want to say? I'd have to go look it up. I mean, the worst parts were just like the fat jokes about one of the characters. It was very unnecessary and very inappropriate. That's dated in the other sense. You wouldn't mind the Tales of Fantasia fan translation, but then there's the naughty lines concerning the preteen witch. I wouldn't even be surprised if that's in the original, though. This is Japan we're talking about. Japan at that time, especially. The GBA has a good translation, even if one of the major things was mistranslated because of spell check. But the color palette is EU. Yeah, it's a shame we haven't gotten an official release of the PlayStation version. Because then you get the opening song, the exact same opening song, I believe, just not compressed to all hell to fit on an SNES cartridge. Localizing is already a lot of work. Wasting time to add stupid jokes is unnecessary. I mean, like, I don't think it's even really a... I don't even see it that way, so much as just, like, you're changing what the original is. And that I have an issue with. And I mean it more in the sense of changing the spirit of what the original is. If there's a comment in a game where it's like, you know, like they comment on a 90s political sex scandal in Japan, I have no problem with changing that to a Clinton joke. Because it's you know, we wouldn't understand that joke. Yeah, changing it to something more local that carries the same sense, the same feeling, the same idea. Like, that's actually good localization, I think. Like, let's say there was a Japanese member of parliament who had a sex scandal, and it was like, you know, and their last name is Ishii. So they make a comment, you know, someone makes a comment like, this person's very Ishii-like. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not going to get that. And you don't want you don't necessarily want a little bit popping up and saying, you know, giving an explainer of the joke. So, you know, saying this person's very Clinton-like, it's gonna work a little bit better. Brock really loves jelly donuts. That's going a little too far. I can look at that jelly donut and know that that's not a jelly donut. No, there's something off there. See, it's a rice ball, and I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, makes perfect sense. I've never had a rice ball, but I as a kid, would perfectly understand that that is a rice ball. That is a food kind of thing, you know? I like this little inset. That's really nice. Let me zoom in on that. Yay, Lego microfigs, yeah. It's a little statue in a sconce. Now they just need to make some with, like, medieval helmets. And hair. You like the dark green? Looks very bronze. It's sand green, which is very bronze, like, oxidized copper-like. Dark green is a different color that I don't think we... Oh. There we go. That is dark green. Versus... Do I have another sand green in here? No, but I did just cause a piece to fall on the floor. So, dark green versus sand green. We are getting a Jaguar, like a 60s era Jaguar. That's all dark green, and I am so looking forward to that. Although the spear is the weapon of choice for most soldiers of Gondor, TM, they are also fierce sword fighters. So nice to get a pair of swords here. The feather pieces in the Jaguar sets have some collectors drooling. Haven't looked at those. I haven't really paid that much attention to the individual pieces in that. It's just been a case of, ooh, dark green, gimme. It's more that spears are very easy to learn because it's just stab. It's very easy to make. It doesn't take a whole lot of metal, unlike a sword, which does take a lot of metal. So it really depends on the type of, warrior that you're talking about. If you're talking about like levies, so they're mostly, peasants. Then yeah, you're gonna look at spears, pole arms, that kind of thing. But like one of the reasons the Roman infantry were so damn good was because they fought with swords. Sometimes levies just had what they brought with them. Yeah, so that's why you get a lot of pole arms that are modified farming implements. Let's see, 3, 2, yep, all right. Like standing professional armies, that would be a little bit different in what they would end up using. But even then, like a massed formation against cavalry is still, like, again, you still want a spear type weapon, so pole arms. All right, there we go. Get those stairs on there. Sends everyone Turkish delight. Wow, that's so delightful. I've never actually had Turkish delight. Then the cavalry got guns. Well, it was more the infantry got guns. That was the big thing. Start giving infantry guns, and you really don't have much use for cavalry anymore. That's why you basically had cavalry charges last be a real thing in World War I. And even then, it was pretty rare. I do love that there was this one British guy in World War II who was getting kills with a longbow. A pair of white 1x1s. So sad cavalry only last hundreds of years after the advent of guns. I don't know about sad. Does mean that a lot fewer horses were dying on the battlefield once they stopped using cavalry. All right, more crenellations. Then that means the horses will go extinct because there's no need for cavalry? I think we're safe on that front. I think we're very, very safe on that front. Look, if we didn't have horses, then what snooty rich people sports would there be? Dragon riding? Chess? No. Chess isn't a snooty rich person sport. Neither is water polo. Okay, you got golf. I'll grant you golf. Okay, last of the crenellations. There we go. Alright, now for the tower parts. This is a very similar to what we built on the other side. You'd say volleyball, but nah, no. Like, even water polo, that's more of, like, a college sport. Same thing with volleyball. One of my sisters played volleyball. Not like professionally or anything, just in high school. Was she good at volleyball? Pretty good. I mean, not like professional level or even college level, but she played in high school for a few years at least. All right. No, she could not have gone pro. For one thing, she's short. Look at the volleyball players today. They're all pretty tall. Almost all. All right, spare part is a dark gray 1x1 tile. Height does give a distinct advantage in volleyball. There are. She was high school pretty good. She wasn't even high school. I wouldn't even say she was high school great. High school great at least gets you a college scholarship. But I mean, she made a high school team, so. You know, that's not like track and field where you can often just take as many students who want to play it as you want, kind of thing. Since it is a team sport and there's a limited number of people who can be on a team. And I mean, there is a short, relatively short. I don't know how actual short she is. U.S. women's team volleyball player, but like every single other player on the team is very tall, and it like they do call out that she is short, and yet really good. I do enjoy watching volleyball during the Olympics. Not beach volleyball, though. I don't know why. I find that very boring. Team volleyball? Interesting. Beach volleyball? Eh. Go figure. You think you like watching acrobatics and ice skating? Yeah, I mean, those are super popular. Aw, thank you very much for those bits, Gilded Tongue. I really appreciate it. Ald should have played volleyball. Can you imagine a dragon trying to play volleyball, though? I don't know. You incinerated the ball! Sorry. I didn't mean to. Howdy, Minor Trader. How's it going? Ball Blazer could have been a fun game to play. Can you hit the ball before it burns you? Talk about injuries. Then Ald hits the ball into space. Ald played a little bit of soccer, and that was more because he had to. And I liked being on the defender. Like, I liked being a defender because it meant that I didn't have to do much. Because I only had to really play when the ball was on my side of the field. So when my team has control of the ball and they're down at the other side of the field, I'm not doing anything. It's great. My sister on her team was goalie, and she got the ball in her hands one time, and someone from the other team came up and tried to kick it out of her hands, and broke her finger. Minor Trader, I too am a master at competitive couch potatoing. Oh, Bahamut, that didn't even get called as a foul. I think I heard that the ref there had had a girl on the other team. Did I enjoy playing Fallout? Oh, yeah. Fallout's a lot of fun. It's a great game. I mean, this was when, like, you know, she was, like, 10 or something, so... You've only played 3, New Vegas, and 4? Did I enjoy Fallout 2? Yeah. Fallout 1, like, I mean, if you like Fallout 1, you will probably like Fallout 2. Would you say the different character combinations in the 2 games are varied enough to be replayable? Oh, yeah. They're like, it, I mean, it very much depends on what type, you know, how you want to play it. You can go for, like, you know, all right, this time I'm going to play an incredibly stupid character. You know, set my intelligence really low. You can certainly complete the game. You won't see as much, you know, story details, but if you've already played it, then, you know, you don't really need to. You could play as, like, you know, high-strength, physical melee character. You know, you can play small guns, energy weapons, long guns. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to play. But it is more about, like there are a few, like, you do have other options in a lot of the story things and stuff, too. But it kind of depends on what you're willing to do. Like, are you willing to let certain factions win or lose kind of thing? And there's a ton of traits for doing certain things, like being a child killer. I will eventually play 3 in New Vegas. I don't know about 4. But, like, New Vegas does feel like a continuation of 1 and 2. So those are on my eventual future agenda. Maybe Tactics. All right, there we go. Got the crenellations. All right, that goes into the middle. Wait, no, it goes over here. That's right. Poor Europeans got child killer even though no kids were supposed to be in Fallout 2. It just made them invisible so you didn't know that they were blocking your shots in combat. Oh my god. That is kind of amazing. In a terrible way. What's the most replayable vintage retro game? I don't know that you could say what is replayable. What is the most replayable? I mean, because there are games that people replay that have no built-in replayability. You know, how do you... Exactly, Cressons. I mean, to be fair, you're doing randomizers, which does have inherent built-in replayability. You do speedrun also, that's true. Which it does have its own form of replayability. I mean, like, you kind of have to, unless you get a record. Unfortunately. Now. Just because you do it because you're a masochist. You had to race oats at a live event? I mean, but at the same time, like, if that's someone, I don't know the community, so I assume that's someone who has a very high, like, a record or something like that. I mean, that kind of comes with an element of, like, I know I'm not going to win, so I can just have fun. Maybe. I mean, obviously everyone is different. See rivalry right there, despite some of the replayability. You know, I mean, like, I kind of see it as, you know, you watch the Olympics and, let's say, the swimming, and they're in the qualification heats for, say, like the 100 meter, and you get to some of those later rounds, and these are all people who qualified, so they're fast, but they're not contenders. They're not even close to contenders, and they will never be contenders. But at the same time, they'd still kick your butt, you know? And it's kind of similar. It's like, hey, I'm just here. I'm putting on the best swim of my life kind of thing. And it's really great to see some of them put in, like, personal bests. Because it's just an element of, like, you're only doing it for yourself. You did set a personal best in your any percent race versus Andy, at least, which was nice. Yeah, see? I assume he was someone who was very high-ranked or something as well. He finished and you were so close that you just wanted to get through it? Yeah. Like, that's actually something that racing against someone who you have no chance of beating, like, that can actually happen, is like, you just... There's no pressure on you. Again, everyone is different, so... Obviously, some people will feel pressure in that situation, but, you know, in general, I think it would just be a situation where, like, you can just go out and do it. All right, there we go. Get those on there. Get this in here. And we get the back tower done. Some people will feel pressure to cheat at Pee Wee Soccer. I mean, sure. But that's a little bit different. Because a lot of times that's going to be like parental pressure, or the parents are doing the cheating. You're just calling back to the soccer story. Sure. I mean, again, like, it is possible that the ref just didn't see it at all. I wasn't there at all. You know, some of these things are also just like sour grapes. You know, or could be sour grapes, I should say. Who knows? You know, and it's entirely possible that the girl didn't realize what she was doing, you know? I don't know. There's lots and lots of possibilities. Aren't sour grapes wine? It could be vinegar. All right, there we go. And this is, I think, making a trough. So get it under there. And we have another plant. You're still salty about a Magic the Gathering card ban from months to a year ago? Yes, but unless you're making the wine out of some other fruit, that's what, like... I mean, you could specifically make vinegar, too. Alright, spare parts. 1x1 plates in white and dark gray. White tile slope, 1x1 tile slope. A trans orange candle flame, and a 1x1 cylinder tile with a top handle, I guess. I mean, if a card's in all the decks, there's probably a pretty good chance that that's too good of a card. Alright, so we're on to bag number 12. We got another soldier to make. Right, but, like, I mean, if he's in all the decks, then that's because that's really good. Like, if everyone was putting millstones in their decks, then that kind of indicates that that's just too good of a card. You know? It's too good to pass up. Alright, so we got another soldier. Does he have the same... He does not have the same face. So we got a different face, at least. Boy, did you get hate for your mill decks? Oh, I know, me too. That's great. I still remember the not like full-throated cursing that leads to violence, but the, what you did is legal and I understand it, but I still hate that it happened kind of thing. When I milled my friend's key Shivan Dragon in his red deck, oh, it's great. I still remember it. Still remember it. It's good. Good memories there. Yeah, but like back then, it was, the difference is like you couldn't really make a mill deck back then. It would just be a deck that happens to have Millstone. Maybe one or two other cards, I guess. You can't like make like dozens of cards that do that. And I mean, like that's all from that card, Millstone. Blue artifact permission plus mill was yours. Why am I getting a text message? Good lord, stop texting me. It is 8:45. I should not be getting text messages. I don't really remember specific details about my decks beyond, I had a red deck. I mean, none of my decks were very good. I had a green Thalid deck. No, it wasn't that Tom Brown. It was a political text. The fact that I can't get off of those angers me incredibly. I mean, like, they're always different, Lil Bunny. They're always coming in from different, It doesn't work because they're always coming in from different numbers, because people block them. Great, one by one. Plate right there. Alright. And, like, I feel like sending them the stop command message says, okay, we'll stop, but that means that you're an active phone number, so we will sell you to someone else. Kind of thing. I mean, I don't conceptually mind candidates in other states because it is reasonable if you care about, certain subjects that you might want to help someone in another state get elected. And, like, conceptually, I don't mind that. It's the fact that, you can't get off of them once you're on them. That angers me. Like, I gotta telemarket. I mean, and it's not just the political ones. It's everything. I got a phone call yesterday. Actually, was it yesterday? It might have even been earlier today. asking to sell my mother's property. I don't own my mother's property. It's my mother's property, not mine. I can't sell that. But she put my name on some of the bills, just, you know, to... I mean, she's getting old, so... if there comes a time when I need to take over, the work's already done, kind of thing. But because of that, I think they think that I own the property, so they keep calling. Do you want to sell it? I'm like, no, I don't own it. I don't say it's my mother's or anything like that. I just say I don't own that. I got the same things after my father died for his property. Now, in that case, I did technically, for a short time, partially own that. But at the same time, like, again, I partially owned it. Just very annoying. Interesting use of the axle connectors to make columns here. They say yes, but name a number they would never pay. Next time I should probably respond and be like, what are you offering? Like let them go through their spiel and then be like, yeah, I can't sell it. I don't own it. Just waste their time. But I also don't want to waste my time, so there's that. All right, so this is a bell tower here. There we go. Get that right on there. I do have LPs to record. No time for such nonsense, indeed. I'm doing an extra LP starting this weekend as well. So tune in for that. You have to catch up with Berseria and FFTA too? Yes, you do. And watch the new series. That is just on the weekends. Okay, so these go on here. All has to make sure to dress as characters in all the outfits that you haven't shown any liking for, especially the ones which you've expressed disdain for. I generally, very specifically, dress the characters in outfits that I like. Rokuro has a slight issue of, I don't really like any of his outfits that much. I mean, I did put a kitty on Aizen's head. I didn't see any comments about that. So then you take it Ald likes ladies with glasses? You didn't already know that? That's kind of the Japanese styling, though. Like, most of his stuff is very traditional Japanese. Which is fine. I just like generally sillier outfits. Exactly, Kinshir. Exactly. I don't think I have a cat on his head. Maybe I do. I don't remember. Some of it kind of gets like fades into the background after a little bit. Oops. Is there nothing there? Oh, no, that's right. That's why this will work. What's the silliest outfit? The silliest outfits are the Norman suits. They're giant, like mascot type outfits. They are funny for like a fight, and that's it. You're not a fan of that outfit? See, I really enjoy him fighting in a suit. I really enjoy that. I think he's the one who has had the least amount of. Hold on a second. Oh, that's why. The least amount of outfit changes. Everything's better with video game dress up. All right, we get a crate under here. Another brazier up top. Like, honestly, especially with Maggie Lou, I often forget that she is not in her default outfit. It kind of, it feels so perfect. Part of that is the hat, though. Okay. There we go. All right. Huh. I was expecting the boxes to correspond to the instruction booklets, but they don't. All right, so spare parts, white and gray 1x1 plates, a gray 1x1 cylinder plate with a top peg, and a dark gray 1x1 cylinder plate with hollow stud. Okay. So this goes together here, and then I get to decide where the heck I'm putting this, because heck if I know. Well, I could change the color of the hat, but that takes a lot more effort. Like, you can reposition them and stuff like that. I really hate the little diamond element of the attachments. You got 3 slots, and then on top of that, you have to, you have a capacity. Like, why? You're already giving me 3 slots. If you're going to have that diamond thing, then have no slots. Just have as many as you can fit. So, which would still only be 3, but still, it's very silly. I don't like that part. Like, I'm very limited in what I can put on some people because of what I want to put on them. Yeah, that is going to come off on both of those. Okay, well, it didn't like me doing that. It's easy to fix. I was gonna like try to set it up to show you guys, but it was like, nope. Okay, that's the same on both of those. That goes there. That one there. All right. Okay. Well, the fact that these popped off. Oh, no. Okay, I know why those are. Yeah. No, those are not. This socket is a lot looser than the socket we had under here, the 2 1x2 sockets, so. Alright, well, I can show them off this way. So we got one wall section there. And the gate and wall section here. And of course, these things that always want to come off. As you can see, this is a display element, not a play element. I do not envy you, Lord Canis. I definitely do not envy you. Alright. Let me put this here for the moment so that I can put these away, because we are moving on to a different instruction booklet. Oh, yeah. There we go. So 13. Then we get the parts list. There's a lot of some of these parts. Let's see, how many pages do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages of parts. It's a lot. Oops. Alright, so this is going to be the main rear portion of it. Those walls will fit on the front. Alright, the Hall of Kings. At the apex of Citadel's High Court, just below the White Tower, is the Hall of Kings, or Tower Hall. In this model, the hall starts at ground level and spans several levels, with lots of references to the scenes that take place here. Inside, the throne is flanked by statues of ancient kings. The architecture is recreated by tall pillars rising to carved capitals and an imitated carving of the white tree behind the throne. The smooth stone surfaces highlight the austerity and grandeur of the city. But there is a somber emptiness here, made abundantly clear when Pippin observes a despondent Denethor, TM, sitting at the foot of the empty throne in the chair of the steward. Alright, are these all the same length? Yes, they are. Alright. Looking at the next places that is recommended to go next in FF6, and oh boy, your favorite places. Woohoo! Alright, 2x6 here. 1x4 brick. And another 2x6, and another brick. Not a brick, log brick. Mixing up my bricks. Well, at least, Lord Canis, you are inside now and can relax, right? I hope. You don't have to go back out in the heat. You had to take a break because rage building out. Now you should settle down, Bahamut. Don't let it get to you. Well, you're doing a little bit more than that, though, aren't you? Aren't you also collecting items? Yeah, I think that's actually the more time-consuming part. Okay, I need to pull out from here. I haven't even opened this yet. A 1x16 in dark gray. Like, I'm pretty sure there are items that I didn't get, stealing-wise. But I did get all the rages. It was all the rage, after all. Oh, and I need another one. Alright, get this under there. Alright, some more support things. One right there. Well, as long as you're having fun, that's the important thing. Okay, 2 1x4s and another brick, another log brick. There we go. Okay. 1x4 here, Technic brick. That is a Technic 1x16 brick. So I think one of the, let's see. Yeah, it would be this one. So I think this Technic brick right there is for this, yeah. So this is how it's going to connect up eventually. Alright, 2x2 angle brick here. Couple log bricks. Wedge bricks. And then some plates. Alright. 1x8 plate here. 2 4x8s. Okay, I have missed a 1x4 plate somewhere. Let me do that first. That might be right there. Where is it? Oh, nope, it's right there. There we go. All right. Okay, and 3 6x10s. Jeez, it took a really long time for YouTube to check a video that I uploaded hours ago. I was like, why am I getting an alert from YouTube? Oh, it's because it finished checking a video. Understood. All right, bag number 14. Not a rogue AI, they're out in the wilderness. That's where they are. Two more bags tonight. Might do 4. Because that's how many I have left from the first box. But it depends. It depends on how I'm feeling. Alright, so we start by pulling these aside. Getting them out of the way. It would be nice to get through the first box in the first 2 sessions, but who knows? You're sad by how much you've started depending on in-game bestiaries? I don't depend on them. I do like them. Although I like them better when they give more information. Like, I am unsatisfied, shall we say, with the Dragon Quest VII one. Well, that's good to hear, Lord Canis. Because now it's the perfect time for you to play this wild dwarf that I made for you. Alright, flip it over. 2x3. 2x3. You're happy enough to know locations and drop steel items? Alright. So, this will go here. There we go. Two by 4 brick right in there. Black 1x2 plate. Okay, and need a 1x2 slope right there. Alright, anything else? No. I mean, I don't generally need to know that information, but I do like to know that information. See, I would actually much rather know things like enemy weaknesses and vulnerabilities. That is what I like to know. Steals are important as well, but only if it matters to the game. Like, something you can't get another way or something like that. Someone's best weapon, that sort of thing. Alright, that's it. Okay. I mean, it's not like you'll need them by the end. Alright, brown 1x3 here. Dark gray wedge plate. Another dark green flower. Right, I missed that there was this tile there. There we go. How dare they're a rare thing? I mean, if you can get 99 of them, are they really that rare? I like sketching Gao so I can get an unlimited number, not an unlimited, but a nearly unlimited number of scimitars to throw at people. And go all Morgan Freeman on them. Okay. Now we get more large plates. Oh, sure. In fun ways. I mean, you also get a lot of economizers, so... That's pretty great. You would never? I mean, that's your choice. You can miss out on the fun stuff if you want. Alright, lots of tiles. First we get this olive green angled corner, then a... Nope, not a tan corner. We get a dark gray corner. 1x2 tile. 3 2x2s. Okay, a 1x1 plate. And a tan corner. Another tan corner. 4 2x2s. Well, I've luckily never had it corrupt a save. And I've definitely done it a few times. Alright, 4 more. Alright, brown 1x1. Tan corner, tan 2x3. Another tan corner. And more 1x2s, that's 4 of them. Well, luckily, when I play these days, I have the power of save states. Makes all the difference. Alright, 1x3 white brick, 1x1 bricks. Let's see, white corner there. White corner there. White corner there. Alright. Now we have brown 1x1 plates in between these openings. Alright, so we have these decorated tiles, which are pretty nice. Let me zoom in on them. I think they're new to this set. So we get 2 there. We get 2 here. There's the other one. There we go. And then lots of 2x2 tan tiles. Alright, we leave open a 2x2 slot right there. There we go. Now one more layer. Hey, alright, perfect number. Okay. Black 2x2 corners, then we get 1x5 plates. In black. There we go. Alright, lots of tiles up front. Let me bring these down here. There we go. Okay, 2x2 dark gray corner. 2x3 black wedge plate. Get some olive green tiles in here as well. Alright, that looks like it. Yep. Okay, next up, a white 4x4 cylinder brick. It used to be that you could only get these with Technic holes in the 4 sides, so it is nice to get solid ones these days as well. And 8 1x1 white plates, tiles, whatever. Same difference. Is it a cheese wedge? No. Those are 1x1 tile slips. Because they actually use them for cheese. There's only 2 monsters you haven't gotten for Gal, and 1 you haven't seen on the Veldt despite having encountered it. Yeah, it can be a crapshoot when you encounter them. Alright, let's see. Over here, we got a gray 1x2 ingot tile, 1x1 cylinder tile, another ingot tile, half tile here. Are you using the tricks to try to get through the monster list faster? It's a cactar and... Oh, you're not using like a FAQ to see what is available? I don't remember if that one is actually one of the things you can get. Oh, and at some point, I missed this dark green flower plate there. You've seen lists that list it? I'd go to the FAQ and just see what the actual lists are. It'll tell you when, where they are in the monster packs, and then you can, and there is a save load trick you can do to get through the list faster. Alright, so spare parts. We got 1x1 tiles in brown and white, 1x1 cylinder tile in gray, tan 1x1 cylinder plate, and tan 1x1 plate, and a dark green 1x1 flower plate. There we go. I mean, it's when you're looking for just one enemy, it's not more time consuming than just fighting through everything. That's what I'm comparing it to. Because it allows you to skip whole batches when you don't need anything from them. Okay, so first up we have 1x1x6. No, 1x6x5, I'm sorry. Panels. And then we have the 3x3 by 5-ish, 6-ish angled one, which this is a modification to what it used to be, because it would have a cutout here and here, so that you could lock them more easily together. Right now, they only lock at the top. I mean, they would technically lock down here as well with the, if you're stacking them. But it used to be that you'd have two of them. There was a little bit more here, like it would come out to the full, 3x3, and it would come out to the 3x3 here as well. Or was it just there? I forget. But there was more to it. Alright, so we got just a white wall there on the inside. Let's put these to the side. We got another one of these. The instructions specifically said don't use this, which I don't know how you would confuse the two. Like, it wouldn't even fit in the spot. Alright, 1x1x6 pillars. Goes right there. Right there. Okay, 1x1 plate flowers. Above and below. With 1x1s with 2 side studs on the corners, and then a white 1x1 brick beneath it. That is correct. Okay. And that goes in there. Alright, 1x8 in tan. 2 1x2x3 bricks. Bricks out of other bricks. AKA... No, parts out of other parts, I'm sorry. AKA poops. This is kind of a part out of other parts as well. This makes it not, though. The hollow and the decoration in the back. But that goes right there. Another panel there. 2 dark gray 1x2 bricks. And a gray 2x2 corner slope. Okay, now some bricks on top. Corner brick there. Uh, 1x6 here. 1x6 there. 1x4 and 1x1. All right, so we got the axle with a pin connector here, and that is going to go right into a 1x1 Technic cross axle brick. Right there. Don't know what that's going to be for yet. Dark gray 1x2 slope and dark gray 1x1. And then we make another brazier. It goes right there, and then we slip the flame in there. All right. Okay. Now we use this angled corner panel, and that goes up here. You might start doing the save restart tricks. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It makes getting everything on the Veld a lot faster. It also means you're not quite as you're not getting as much items and money and stuff like that. Okay, that arch goes right there. Or you might just start ignoring the 2 rages. That works too. I mean, you'll be coming back when you fight more monsters that show up on the Veld anyway, so. But the save load trick is a lot faster. Like, it really, really is a lot faster. Alright, so, car hub. 2x2 corner plates here. And that goes right there above that. So we have an arch there. Oops. Alright. Didn't get this 2x2 corner in there. And Cactar Rage does 1,000 needles, and the other one is the Tumbleweed Monster. It does Lifesaver, so you're not missing much there. That's true. I mean, again, you're going to be back later when there are more monsters, right? When you've encountered more new monsters. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you wait a while. Make it more productive to get the other ones. I always hated when I had Gao leap on something, and then I encounter a monster that he hasn't gotten yet, and he doesn't come back, and it's like another fight before he comes back, and it's like, God damn it, I have to wait. I have to go through the whole list again. You jerk. Okay, we are building a big ol' wall here. Sadly, I don't think he cares that it stinks. Or that he stinks. Alright, tile slopes. You would have had the tumbleweed monster rage earlier, but again, Gauss showed up one encounter after that? Yeah. What a dink he is, right? Alright, angled 2x2 corners. And then we get a stack of a 3x3 angle bricks. Let's go right there. And a 1x1x5. One by 4 slope and a 1x1 tile slope right there. Sucks that most rages are totally useless. I wouldn't say that they're totally useless so much as once you know what the really good ones are, you have little reason to use some of the others. Like, I think a lot of it is kind of designed for the casual play of you just go get a few things and then move on. But I also think that they underestimated how many people would actually do that. And of course, you know, it's designed for you to not know what they are until you use them. You know, it's the kind of thing that it's like, you don't know that X monster does Fire 3, and then you use it, and then he does Fire 3, and you're like, oh my god, this is the best! I'm going to always use this one, or something like that, you know? Like, that's kind of the intention. But that doesn't survive past people discovering what things do. And making lists online. Okay, that's there, and a 1x3 brick here. I don't really remember which ones I really liked, other than Cat Scratch. I liked Cat Scratch. I don't think I used the ones that do Meteor that much. Okay, that gets on here. There we go. Are they really doing an Enterprise bridge set from TOS? Yes, they are, and it's going to have tribbles. Okay, another angled piece and a 2x2 corner. And a 1x2 curved slope. Now, I don't know if I will get it, and the reason is that it has a lot of stickers, and I understand that, but it has a lot of stickers, and I don't know if I care as much. Like, I do like the original series, but I'd probably be more into one of the other series. Alright, so we got black round top pieces for some pillars. We're probably going to do the same thing right there. Okay, 1x2 brick with side studs. 1x2 grill slope. And a black leaf piece to top off that kind of faux column there. Okay, so that is it for that bag. Spare parts: a white 1x1 plate, a white 1x1 tile slope, gray 1x1 plate flower, dark gray 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg, and black 1x1 plate with round end. Okay, I think we'll do one more bag. I was thinking about doing 4, but it is getting late. So I think this is just what Nadaroge said. His prediction was correct. Much as it pains me to admit so. Howdy, Bubba. How's it going? How's the build so far? Pretty fun. Few slight issues with the outer wall, but since it's a display piece, they're not major. I have no idea where this part is going, since, yeah, this is just a structure. I think we're starting, like, we might be starting, like, the other side over there or something. Oh, no. This is the center. Okay, that's what this is. Will it have any moving features? It has moving gates, opening doors, opening gate doors. I don't know that it's going to have too much else that moves, because it really is a display piece, and it is a city and castle. Not exactly a whole lot of moving parts on that. You love the Lego Shrek minifigs? They're getting struck, so be careful if you've saved that and you're sharing it anywhere. I will probably only get a single set rather than multiples. Shrek isn't one of my, like, it's not a movie series that does much for me. Not in a bad way, just isn't something for me. Go. There we go. They're getting taken down. Takedown notices. Because they were leaked, they weren't officially announced yet, and Lego doesn't want the information out yet. I mean, the tech is pretty good these days that a rival, like, you know, a knockoff company could scan could look at that picture and oftentimes pretty easily make knockoff molds for the unique parts. Also, when they're leaked, it means they don't have control over the information coming out, which is why it's a big, like, if someone finds a set in like a Target, they can't really strike that because someone found it in a store, and they have rushed announcements up that they weren't planning on making because of something like that. Someone found a set in a store and bought it. I think there was a Star Wars set actually that no one knew was coming out. Maybe it wasn't a Star Wars set. I don't remember. But it was a set that no one knew was coming out. Like it hadn't even leaked out the the set number and stuff like that. It is impossible to put it back in the tube, but they can decrease the spread. And they have every right to take action in these cases. Like, I had someone some months back coming in and talking about how much they loved building Lego, and then they said that they didn't buy... They bought, like... what was it? The Razor Crest, I think it was. They said, but they didn't buy the Lego version. They bought a knockoff version because it's cheaper. And it's like... that's the kind of thing that Lego is working really hard to tamp down. Okay, that goes in right there. All right, one 1x12 here. And two 1x6s, which is interesting. Don't know why they didn't just use three 1x12s. Yeah, that's a 1x12. I don't know. Hasbro took action once on an accidental leak sending Pinkertons to the guy's house. Yeah, that's very egregious. Like, someone got an unreleased set from Lego that wasn't out yet, that wasn't released yet. They had ordered something else, and someone just packed the wrong thing and sent it to them. So that, that again was the essentially the announcement. Like, if someone had stolen it, it would be a lot less egregious. It'd still be kind of egregious. But there's a much better justification for something like that if someone had stolen it, But That was a mistake on Hasbro's part. So going to that extreme there, in that case, really bad form. Like, they can talk about it, Lel Bunny. Like, it's really hard to put the information back in the bottle. We've known about the Shrek. We've known about the Shrek for a while. There just hasn't been much in the way of pictures. Certainly nothing official. So I don't think they can stop people from talking about it, but if they've included pictures, then that could be struck. I can check right now if it's actually been officially announced. It has been officially announced. Because I'm seeing a picture for it. Yeah. So I think that they wanted their official announcement, and it got leaked a little bit early, so. Alright. So, spare part, 1x1, tile in tan. So we will be going on to bag number 17 next. This is what we got so far. It's fairly plain at this point. A lot of these tiles are going to be for the mountain slope part. But you can also see that it's going to be about the same length over here, so it's going to get pretty large. You know, something like over here. Our good friends are probably going to have to take a break pretty soon. Makes you wonder who keeps leaking these. That is the kind of thing that LEGO would really like to know. Some of the stuff is, like, everything that's retail, everything that's not a LEGO exclusive, LEGO has to put that information out there for the retail stores, so they don't come down hard on that stuff. Because, like back in January, we knew, like, set numbers for the July retail waves of like, you know, Marvel and stuff like that, and Ninjago. Because all that stuff is already getting out to the retailers. Is my camera going to be high enough for the height of this thing? I don't know. I really don't know. Let me check the... let's see. Can I... I'll look at one of these things, get a feel for it. That's there. I think it'll be tall enough for the top, which may come off. Yeah, I believe it comes off. Yeah, so we're not gonna be able to see the whole thing very well. I might be able to put it on its back and show it that way, because it does basically have a flat back. It'll basically have a flat back. So I might be able to do that. But yeah, no, this is definitely getting outside of the scope of my camera in a lot of ways. I don't really know what I would do. Yeah, well, that tower will probably be outside of it altogether, but it's also removable. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things of, like, I don't really know what else I could do without dedicating, like, a whole room to this, which I can't do. I just don't have that kind of space. So I don't know. But right now, see, like, eventually we'll be able to, you know, do this, and this is going to be the front extension of it. you know. So I can get kind of a view that way. That's of it all together. And then without that part, you know, that's how high that'll be on its back. But, I mean, I did know it would be very large. Some of it, like, I mean, a lot of these streams are just about, like, doing something while I'm chatting to you guys as well, so. I mean, it's certainly not as tall as the Eiffel Tower was. Which, there was no way. Like, even with a dedicated room, I don't think there'd be any way of getting that all on stream at once kind of thing. So. But that's going to be this part. Let's go ahead and move it up here for now, because it is time for some minifigs. Let's go ahead and get all of our stuff out for that. God, I'm getting a little old for that, Red Hyena. My body is not prepared for that. All right. 1d6 to pick the column. 4, so we're going down the middle. I believe I still need a d20 for that. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right. Actually, like, the getting down part wouldn't be too hard. It's the getting up part. All right. Let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. Let me get my timer all up. There we go. It just means I need more breakfast soup. I eat breakfast soup every day, though. All right, my die. 14. So we got going for my die says the Boar Knight. Let's see, 1 for Nadarogai, that would be the Olympic swimmer. 6 for Bahamut, that would be the bagpiper. Initial guess is a Minotaur artist recruiter for a project. All right, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? A Leonin Minas Tirith farmer, an NFL dragon cheerleader, who farms in a city. I mean, you can do some farming in some cities. Not big farming, but you can do some. But also, the fields outside of the city can be farmed, and that would still be farming for that city. Goblin Sapper undermining the wall. Wouldn't that just be an orc, though? All right, get your predictions in. Just a few seconds remaining. Yeah, there's also rooftop farms. Not very common in medieval style cities, though. And some of that's more like gardens rather than farming. But depending on like the nature of the city, you could have like some farm plots right in there. All right, and predictions are closed. Okay, and go. All right, let's see what we got. Something big. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? No, that is not what I think it is. Okay, I am not sure what this is. Is that... Okay. 28.04. I believe we have the Space Bounty Hunter guy. So let's see if that is correct. That is correct. All right. Okay, so that was 28.04. Let's choose the outcome. That is 20 to 50 seconds. Complete the prediction. All right, and I get all of the hams. Delicious hams, all for me. So good. Nope, not a whole lot, but there were 8,000 hams there. No one put anything down for 20 to 50 or 50 to 60. Lel Bunny went for no, and Red Hyena and Bahamut went for within 20 seconds. So, I get all the hams, which works for me. I feel like there's a name on this torso. I think it says like Louise or Lutz. But I could just be my imagination. Anyway, I wanted to get a picture on the torso because this is going to cover up part of it. Zoom back out for a moment. We do have, actually that's something else. We do have two faces. So this is like, you know, heads-up display, visor, and then just a regular face. Although he has some sort of eye patch or technical device over his eye. We'll go ahead and go with this one. He does have the Classic Space logo on his shoulder as well. And then we have the helmet that has no actual visor. And he gets a space gun. There we go. So I don't know what he is exactly. Some sort of bounty hunter or space police guy or something like that. There we go. All right. So that is done. All right. Next up. Oops. That should be over there. All right, Series 10. All right, I need the sheet out. Okay, 4. So once again, we're going down the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. D8, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. And let's go ahead and roll my die. 2. Get out of here, bug. All right, so that would be the Medusa. Stupid gnat moving around down here. All right, so I'm gonna say that my die is wrong. It is definitely not the Medusa. All right, so get your predictions in. All right, let's see. Bahamut got a 6. That is the Skydiver. 4 for Shield of Hope. That would be the Amazon. 5 for Nadarogai. That would be the Indian Brave, the last of the Mohicans. 2 for Mike and Stabby. That would be the definitely not going to get the Medusa. A lot of faith being put into my abilities. All right, I promise I will not let you down. So get your predictions in. Let's see, a Leonin, a Space Marine Chief, and a Minotaur Artist Agent. A Galactic Gorgon. Oh, don't worry, I feel no pressure. I mean, I just got 8,000 hams, all to myself. We're still tasting them. All mine. And if I do it right, I might get them again. All right, we are just about out of time for predictions, and there we go. All right, and go. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? That is... I feel like that is a... Okay. 13.81. I believe we have the Roman Centurion. Just want to make sure that the cape is down there. All right. Roman Centurion. All right, so that was 13.81. I felt the helmet, and it was like, okay, I'm feeling little bits here. Is this like some sort of hair? But then I felt this, and yep, I knew it. Let's choose the outcome. That is within 20 seconds. Complete that prediction. Who is getting all of the hams? Bahamut and Red Hyena getting all the hams. Very nice. Of course, Red Hyena didn't get that much because Bahamut took most of them. Lord Canis, Mike and Stabby and Kinshir going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. 10K hams will do that. That is true. It's called sandbagging. On the other hand, if I had gotten one of those other ones, some people would have gotten a lot of hams. You gamble conservatively. Well, it still paid off. You did still get some extra hams. Some extra delicious hams. So there we go. We got our Roman Centurion. Go ahead and zoom in on him. Love the helmet. It's really great. The torso and leg decoration is also fantastic. No printing on the back, and of course this is before legs were dual molded. But there is, like, they are printed on the front and side, so that is nice. Of course, that does make him look like he's got a bare bum, but, you know. He's got a cape to cover it, so it's fine. All right. So, let me go ahead and mark him down. So we've gotten 4 of him. That's pretty cool. All right. And finally, let's go ahead and get to our weights. Get our scale out. All right, D6, 3, so we're going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, D8. It means it's molded with 2 different colors. 8, I gotta roll again. 7, all right, the very last one. No, we don't have any dual molded on them. Or him. Alright. Let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. So I will shake it, then I will roll a die, then I will weigh it. Alright, so not a rogue AI going for 5. That is the frog. 4 for Bahamut, that is the monkey. The only one that we've gotten all of is the koala. And the only one that we have not gotten any of is the Dalmatian. A Leonin candy taster and a Minotaur winning entry in an art contest. 5 for Shield of Hope as well. That would be the frog. So get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig box? And I will go ahead and get to my scanner. There we go. All right. Scanner's ready. Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig box? Will I get it with the guess? Will I get it with the die? Will I get it with the weight? Or will I get none of them? 11K hams on yes. Wow. All right. Yeah, but which yes? There are 3 yeses. How am I supposed to know what you mean? I can't look at that 1 on your, in front of your name. Oh. All right, just a few seconds remaining. Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig box? A yes is a yes is a yes? Ah, but in this case, a yes could also be a no. And predictions are closed. All right, let's do a shake. Okay, so there's not too many small pieces. I'm going to say the bunny. I think I hear multiple pieces roll around in there, so I'm going to say it's the bunny, number 10. Die says... Nope. Die says 2. It says the kitty. So that is another one with multiple round pieces, head and the ball. So that could be it. All right. And then we weigh it. Oh, wow. 20.51. All right. Okay. I was thinking it might have been that because I thought I felt some large pieces. That would be the parrot. All right, that would definitely be the parrot. That is the parrot costume. All right, so that is yes with weight. Let's go ahead and open it to verify. Yep, that's it. Okay, I should have gone with my first gut. My gut instinct was the parrot because I thought I heard this, but it could have been like these two kind of thing, but no. It was the parrot. All right, let's choose the outcome. That is yes with weight. Let's complete that prediction. Who is getting all of the hams? Kinshir and Iugra getting all of the hams, getting a very, very healthy selection of hams there. That is about what I got on the first one. So that is pretty good for both of you. Bahamut and Red Hyena going for yes with guess. Shield of Hope going for yes with die roll. And Lel Bunny going for no. So that was a pretty good payout there. It was a pretty good payout there. Over 8,000 hams seems less than healthy unless you're dragon-sized. I mean, you can eat them later. You don't have to eat them now. I mean, if you want to eat them now, you can. Oh, okay, so here's dual molded. Technically, each of these legs is 2 different pieces. Okay, get that on. Let's make her squawk. This is also dual molded. And it has the snack box, which isn't as good as the cornflakes. But I mean, it probably is breakfast soup. It probably is breakfast soup. Delicious parrot-flavored breakfast soup. Breakfast soup. I mean, it might be crackers. I don't know. She might be a cracker addict. That's possible. I mean, we saw what happened when our parrots got addicted to crackers, especially a particular parrot in Stellaris. All right. So that is our second of the parrots. And we have, let's see. All right, we've only gotten one of the monkey. We've gotten two of everything else. Man, that is weird that we haven't gotten the Dalmatian yet. All right, but that is going to wrap us up for tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming on out. We will be back on Friday to continue building the Minas Tirith. We will be back on a Saturday for some more Spelljammer. We will be back on Monday for some more Dragon Quest VII. And we will be back next Wednesday as well to continue building Minas Tirith, because it's going to be for a little bit. All right, I want to thank you guys for coming on out, and I shall see you next time. See you then, everyone.